Hello my dear friends, and welcome back to another video. So today we have plenty of Star Wars updates, and we begin with Ahsoka. A new official image has appeared on Star Wars Japan's Twitter page, as well as a new banner. Doesn't she look incredible? And we also have some brand new concept art. So I think it's safe to say when it comes to Star Wars Ahsoka that there are a few influences. It's a sequel to Star Wars Rebels, it combines elements that were introduced in The Mandalorian Season 2, maybe the Book of Boba Fett, if we go back earlier in Ahsoka's life than the Clone Wars, which is going to be a huge influence on this show, but also Star Wars Legends, and not just Heir to the Empire stuff. We're talking about the E-Wings, which I spoke about in my last news update, but in the case of new concept art, the absence of the Chimera. If the new concept art is anything to go off, we're gonna see some more chess elements. Thrawn has a new ship. After he and Ezra survived hyperspace at the end of Star Wars Rebels, maybe it was time for a change, maybe the Chimera got damaged. In either case, fans are saying, this is Thrawn's new flagship. It's luxurious, it's golden, and it's enormously expansive. Now fans of the Chimera, fans of the 7th Fleet, and fans of Thrawn generally are going to be pretty upset by this, unless this is not his ship. But many fans wanted to see the iconic Chimera, but in either case, just like many translations from Legends into canon, they're gonna do new things, fresh things, but there are also some new ships to look forward to, ones we know about, have seen referenced, but don't appear too much in visual content. An example of this comes in the form of some new concept art, which has just released after CDCC, and this is of an MC-30 frigate, a Mon Calamari designed New Republic warship. This existed in Star Wars Legends for years. We know about it from Star Wars Empire at War, the Galaxy's trading card game, Strongholds of Resistance, but it has appeared in Star Wars canon with some differences, and this ship was enormous, again allusions to the New Republic and Mon Calamari such as Admiral Akbar and some new officers we haven't met before. They're doing a deep dive into a lot of Star Wars lore, because we did see it in Star Wars Legends, LucasArts video game Star Wars Jedi Knights Dark Forces 2. But in terms of canon, we really only see it in one place, so they are turning to some of the literature, and this ship is rather impressive in the concept art as well. The frigate was a high-speed attack ship that was manufactured by Mon Calamari shipyards and cost 9,500,000 credits per unit, and a whopping 380 meters in length. They were originally city ships, as are the Mon Calamari starships, but were retrofitted for warfare, and before things went wrong for the New Republic, Mon Mothma used them as well as part of the New Republic's defense. This is going to be fantastic in live action. And this reminds me of when I read the Heir to the Empire comics. The battles between Thrawn and the New Republic were amazing. The consultations on both sides, Pelion and Thrawn and Rook, and then on the other side, Admiral Akbar, Mon Mothma, Failure, Luke, Leia and Han, and it looks as though they're doing a canon version of this. There is going to be so much tension in this show, and as I've said before, we might not see too much of Thrawn. He might only appear in a couple of episodes. They're really trying to build up to Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie, which is why I'm not surprised if The Mandalorian Season 4 does not contain too much of this. The Ahsoka show is really where the tension between these two sides is gonna come to a head, and with the New Republic stuff in canon, we've got some amazing characters from Zeb Orrelios, we have Paul Sun-Hyung Lee's Carson Teva, Hera, Jason, Chopper, and some new characters we're about to meet, the ones introduced in the Lego sets. I can't express how excited I am for this, but I'm a big fan of Timothy Zahn, but if they did do away with the Chimera, I'm sure Zahn signed off on it because he did consult on this show, so it might have been a mutual decision, unless we're being fooled, and this is a different ship. We do see Morgan Elsbeth in a similar one in the trailer, so it might be hers, and the concept art just has Thrawn in it instead. Share your thoughts on this in the comments down below. In other news, at the Lucasfilm publishing panel at San Diego Comic-Con, they revealed a brand new reference guide, Dawn of Rebellion, and this book confirms the clone from the Kenobi show was Nax. But now my dear friends, we do have some more Star Wars news. Andor Season 2 has officially stopped production. I mentioned this last week and it was just a theory because of what was going on with the strikes, but now it's official, they've stopped production, and this comes a day after filming was spotted in Oxfordshire in England. They were filming some pre-Rogue One Rebel base scenes at what looks to be Dantooine. How exciting would that have been? Filming was almost complete on the show, and it will finish one day. When that's going to be, well, no one knows, but it seems to have been put on hold. Deadlines say, quote, Disney Plus's critically acclaimed Star Wars series is just weeks away from wrapping in the UK, but it's finished short of the finish line as a result of the actors' strike, which is wrapping its first week. A rep for the series producer declined to comment though. It's not yet clear when Andor's going to complete filming, because there is currently no end in sight for the SAG-AFTRA, as well as the Writers Guild of America. A week ago, Tony Gilroy said that the industry was recklessly careless with everything. And he adds, quote, "I think SAG and the Writers Guild are trying to preserve our industry. In such a strange way, we've become the creators and the interpreters. The creative community are becoming the protectors of this industry, this huge industry that people love." And as we know, Diego Luna and Stellan Skarsgård are among the Andor cast, ones who stood in solidarity. As much as we can't wait for the second season of this show, everything in the industry is being put on hold. And so finally, my dear friends, John Boyega has revealed what he believes to be the worst in the Disney Star Wars trilogy, and sharing the sentiment of many fans, he said The Last Jedi. I'm honestly not too surprised, because he's always said he didn't like his treatment in episodes 8 or 9. The promise of a defected stormtrooper who is maybe force sensitive was discarded in favour of side missions as a side character, and he really did deserve better. These comments come days after he said he'd be willing to return, how he's open to anything at this point. And so speaking on First We Feast Hot Ones show, Boyega was tasked with ranking the 3 Star Wars films he appeared in, to which the actor responded, "The worst, in the most respectful sense, is Episode 8. So his ranking was The Force Awakens first, then Episode 9 The Rise of Skywalker, and last, he said Episode 8, but then he says, but they're all lovely, but he said it while winking at the camera, kind of suggesting, well, that's not the case, he was just being sarcastic. It's no secret he didn't like Episode 8, but for those fans out there who do like The Last Jedi, this is just an opinion, and for those who hate The Last Jedi, again just an opinion, but one shared by a lot of fans. As I say, this is not the first time John demonstrated his dislike for the film. In the past, he told Hypebeast the film was iffy and didn't follow the promise of The Force Awakens. He did not agree with a lot of the choices in that film, even citing Mark Hamill's disappointment. And he's revealed he's had a lot of conversations with Mark about how that film turned out, because we were all separated, he says. Things did not go the way we thought, and even the way the actors thought. Even Luke says in the trailer. From my perspective, I do understand both sides, but there are lots of things in the sequels I do like. I don't just have criticisms for them, although I will say when it does come to the things I didn't like, they did rub me the wrong way, and that's why I think for a lot of us, The Mandalorian and the related shows, Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and maybe Skeleton Crew this Christmas, that is like a new awakening for post-episode 6 stories. And speaking on The Force Awakens, he says he will always have a level of nostalgia for that film, to a certain extent, but he does think there should have been a Stormtrooper rebellion. Oh my gosh, how right is he? And finally, he also says something I agree with. He remarks that fans needed more time with the old characters that we love so much. We would have loved to have seen Luke, Han and Leia reunited, but they didn't give that to us. But what do you guys think? Is John right? Is he wrong? How do you feel about the Andor news, the Ahsoka news? Share your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. May the Force be with you, always.